What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I would fix The Last of Us Part 2. So this is obviously assuming that The Last of Us Part 2 needs fixing, and honestly, it's not going to be fixing all that much. I'm going to explain why in this video, but go over some small tweaks I would make to this base story. Now, really quickly, before I get started, I want to promote our Discord. We actually have a Last of Us category there where people are talking all about it, both a spoiler and non-spoiler category. So if you guys want to check that out, if you guys want to talk with other people that have played this game, again, both in a spoiler fashion and non-spoiler fashion, definitely check it out. The link for it will be in the description below. Now, when it comes to this game, I actually made a review on my second channel. I'll tell you guys really quickly. I think this game has a lot that's going its way. I think this game has a lot that's actually really good. Now, this video is going to have major spoilers just to get that out of the way early so you guys know going in. Let me tell you this, just kind of set the scene. I think this game is really good. A lot of it is really good. Some of the parts, and mainly the story, is the weakest part, okay? Mainly the Abby things. Ellie, I think the first half of this game is really fantastic. I think all the parts playing as Ellie are fantastic. I can really get behind just about everything that happens with Ellie, okay? Even Abby killing Joel, I can get behind, but then obviously the switch of playing as Abby, trying to humanize her, trying to make us care about her, stuff like that, that is obviously my biggest problem. So when, in terms of this video, that's what I'm going to be talking about. Firstly, we have to talk about how do we make Abby a good character? How do we make this game in a way that we're going to try and keep as much of this game intact as we can? We're not going to change. We're not going to vastly change this game, but I want to try and make Abby more likable, and we also have to make Ellie less likable in terms of we want to make sure Abby actually, we feel that we want to take out Ellie at that fight in the theater room. Okay, we want to make sure we can do that, and maybe we can touch on the ending just a little bit as well. So I've said this before in other videos, but I want to put it all in this one if this is the first time you guys have ever watched the channel, watched one of these videos. Here's what I've said since day one, since the leaks happened where we knew we would play as Abby after she killed Joel. I think the best thing this game could have done is start out as playing as Abby, okay? If you start us out by playing as Abby back when this all, in the hospital, right, when this all happened, have us do that. Now, yes, I understand you do that, okay? You do that for like maybe 10, 15 minutes with her dad, right? You free the zebra, all that stuff. That was fine. You kind of feel for the dad a little bit, but at the same time, then you go into the cutscene with Marlene where the dad's talking and he makes the final call like, no, we were going to kill her. And then Marlene's like, well, what if it was your own daughter? And basically it's like, well, it's not my own daughter, so I don't care. So even that scene makes him seem like a loser, makes him seem bad, and continues to make Abby seem not important enough. It actually makes Marlene seem even better. It actually makes me feel worse that Joel killed her, which I didn't love doing in the last, right? But that was kind of part of the journey, that we didn't really need to kill Marlene, and that was kind of overkill, and that didn't need to happen, but I guess it did, right? Like, we had to do what we had to do, right? So if anything, that scene made Marlene better, not Abby's father, okay? What you need to do is we needed to have, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, if you guys don't agree, totally cool. I want to hear your pitches. How would you have made this game better? And it's not so easy as just removing, SJW stuff, which, by the way, we'll get to a little bit of that as well. The biggest thing for me is have us spend a lot more time as Abby younger. Don't, they did the whole Seattle 3-day thing for both Ellie and Abby. I get what they were doing. It was not the right call, in my opinion. I would have, again, have us play when we were younger as Abby with her dad. Have us grow to like Abby, really like Abby. Now, this is, of course, assuming a world where there are no leaks, there were no spoilers ahead of time. Have it so we didn't know who this character was. How bold, I mean, this game is bold. It definitely takes it in directions nobody thought they would, right? Whether they were right or wrong to do that, it took it in bold new directions. It would have also been bold to start the game out playing as Abby. Play as Abby, have us play as her for the first 5, 6, 7 hours even. That would be very risky, right? Because you market the whole thing on Ellie, and then you don't even play as Ellie till, say, like 30% into the game, okay? That would definitely be risky, but you get us to like Abby. Don't mention what's going on. Have us walk into the scene where Joel kills the dad. I think there's enough there where you can understand it. To be honest with you, again, the Abby killing Joel thing, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. I've, again, said this a lot in the past. I am okay with the idea that Joel is not a good good person, okay? He's trying to make up for things, mainly with Ellie, but he's done a lot of bad things. And in the first Last of Us, he did, and not even that. Remember, there was a huge time jump between Sarah and where we started with The Last of Us, and he even said he did a lot of terrible things. So he's a bad guy. He's done bad things to bad people. He's done bad things to good people, okay? It makes sense to me that one of those killings that he's done comes back to bite him in some way in the future. I like that. I actually love that idea. Now, do I love the fact that we have to play as Abby for 10 hours after that? No, I don't love that. But the idea that that could happen is fine. Again, we're trying to assume like the game is going to put us in Abby's shoes. So you got to make us like her. And it's very hard. Again, like all the people that said, and including Neil Druckmann, all of them that said, you got to trust us. You got to go with us. Like we're going to introduce things that you're not going to be comfortable with, but you got to go with it. Like that was because they knew that having a character like Abby kill Joel, one of our favorite gaming characters ever, but definitely top 2 in the Last of Us franchise, you're never really going to walk that back. You're never really going to be okay with a character like that. Now, could you argue you still wouldn't be under like my proposal, under what I would do? I mean, you could still say that no matter what, she took out our favorite character, we're going to have a problem playing as her. I get that. But also, maybe they just don't have us play as her in that second half. Maybe under my way, you only play the beginning as her and you walk her into her killing, her eventually killing Joel, and then you kick off Ellie's story from there going forward. So maybe you would definitely have to change it up a little bit, but I think you got to humanize her. And then as for the Ellie thing, as for going after Ellie, that one's a lot more tough because, again, we spent an entire game with her. We understand why Ellie does the things she's doing, okay? When she has to beat the information out of Nora, when she kills Owen and Mel. The Mel thing was overkill, though, right? Because she didn't need to do that, right? Owen, I mean, he went for her gun. You got to do what you got to do. The Mel thing, she was defenseless. You didn't have to do that, right? And obviously Ellie felt really bad about it. So I get that. I understand that. But you know what? We understood that while playing as Ellie. And that's the biggest thing is we understood where Ellie was coming from, and we understood that she was doing bad things. So when we were playing as Abby and we were experiencing it from the other side, that they were trying to grow our relationship with these characters, and then we find them dead, and we're like, oh, I can see why Abby's so upset now. Again, we already knew that was bad. We didn't need Abby to do that. And I think the finishing blow to that Abby arc of us playing as Abby was that they needed, and I said this leading into this game, they need to find a way, if they're going to do it right, which they didn't do it right, but if they were going to do it right, they would need to have found a way to us playing as Abby where they made Ellie literally the antagonist. I really don't think they did a good enough job at that at all. Again, I know Ellie did bad things because I played as her, and I understand why she did them. Yes, they were bad, but I get it. As Abby, they're trying to make you like her. They're trying to make her be more of the good guy, Ellie be more of the bad guy, to see why you would pummel, you would destroy her face and almost kill Dina, right? You'd understand that. Again, I don't think it's good enough where it's like, I don't want you touching Ellie. So again, how I would fix that, maybe you have to eliminate that altogether. I pitched when I live streamed this game, I've pitched it to like my wife. I think maybe one of the safest things they could have done in this game, again, safe, but again, bold, is, we played as Abby for like 10 plus hours. That took a long. They basically had 2 different games. You play as Ellie, you play as Abby. 2 different games in one. A dual storyline. Again, I like that idea, but it just didn't pay off. I would have preferred them to do something like they did in the first game, where you just experience a lot of different mini storylines in a big storyline. Now, the problem with this game is the big storyline is Ellie going after Abby, is Ellie getting revenge. That's not big enough to take up 25, 30 hours of this game. So what did they have to do? They had to tell it from 2 different angles. They had to tell it from Ellie's revenge quest, and they had to tell it from Abby's, right? Which, I really don't think came together in the way that they wanted it. So in order to fix that, they would have had to have done 2 things. How I would have fixed it. If you were going to do the exact same thing that they did, you have to make Ellie worse somehow. And maybe the fact that we've played as Abby for those couple first, so again, like based off of what I was saying, pitching my idea, if we played as Abby for the first several hours of this game and we really do like her, we don't like her as much as Joel or as much as Ellie, I don't think we ever would. I don't know how much time we would need to play as Abby to get to that point. There's also just something with those 2 characters that are special, right, that may never be able to be replicated, but maybe we really like Abby, like more than we think we would. And then again, that would justify killing Joel, maybe. It wouldn't, obviously, to everybody. Then the Ellie part, you gotta make her seem more evil. Like, you know Ellie's doing bad things. You know Ellie's taking out the WLFs, like Abby's friends and stuff, but even they aren't really Abby's friends anymore. Really, you only got mad at Ellie because she killed, like, Owen and Mel. You don't really know about Nora. You don't really know about anybody else, and you don't care about the Wolves anymore, so you're only really upset about those two characters. And Owen was, that's another thing. I think maybe if Owen was a more likable character, Mel was kind of back and forth, like you understood where she was coming from. Bottom line is they have to make Ellie more hated, or they have to take out that part in general. And to be honest with you, if they did something like take that part completely out, the Abby part, playing as Abby, and they instead replaced it with playing as Abby in the beginning of the game, 5, 6, 7 hours, you play as her, it leads you into her killing Joel, picks up from Ellie, Ellie has a revenge quest on her, you play as Ellie, maybe Abby does beat you in the fight, but you're playing as Ellie. So you've gone through that whole revenge and you lose. But you also see where Abby came from. You also see why Abby would be upset. That's, again, another problem. Like, we know we killed Owen and Mel. We know Abby would probably be upset about that if she saw it. You know what I mean? We don't need Abby's reaction. We already know that. So if you take that completely out, you still play as Ellie. This is, again, assuming that the Abby part's just in the beginning. Play as Ellie, get beat up by Abby. I guess you can keep that. I think it would be better if you experienced the loss versus you're handing Ellie the loss. You know what I mean? I just don't feel comfortable almost beating her. I did not feel comfortable. And that's the point. I feel like that's the point, that you're not supposed to be comfortable almost killing her and beating her. But I didn't want to do that. In fact, I ran out in front of Ellie's shotgun multiple times just to see the death animation because it's funny. And I wanted that storyline is what I wanted to happen. I wanted Ellie to win. You know what I mean? But again, you don't always win. And you don't always win in this world, and that's fine. But have us be the loser. Have us be Ellie in that case. And then do the ending and have, you know what? I know a lot of people hate the ending. Have Ellie do the same thing. Have Ellie forgive, because, again, that point is strong enough in a way where it makes sense why Ellie would do something like that. And if we hadn't played as Abby for that 10-hour Seattle thing, I think we'd be a little bit nicer to her in terms of wanting her to survive. You know what I mean? Like, yes, again, she killed Joel, but if they give us enough reason that she killed Joel, I don't think people would be as mad for Ellie letting her go at the end, even though Ellie did lose everything, but Ellie learned from it. She really did actually learn from it. So I think that would make it better, and it would make people more on board with letting Abby go. Because if you go online, if you go on comments, if you go on anything, people are upset that Abby's still alive, and I get it. I don't want Abby alive either. I want to see where Lev's story goes from now, but that's really it. You know what I mean? I think he's a pretty solid character, but besides that, Abby really, like, yes, obviously she's like his protector now, and that's going to be a whole storyline. That's fine, I guess, but like, we really don't need Abby around anymore, right? I think a lot of people are not going to be happy when Abby appears heavily in The Last of Us Part 3, okay? And maybe they'll just not buy the game in general, but that's how I would do it. I think it really stems from making us like her before she kills Joel. You gotta do that first. We do not have that in this game, and that would justify a lot of different things. Remove playing as her. We don't really need it. We don't need to see her storyline from, like, that perspective. We just don't. We understand what's going on simply from Ellie's perspective. We don't need a second perspective. And again, I think that would add weight to have us continue to play as Ellie. You can have us lose, have Abby almost beat us. That's fine. We know we're not going to die, or maybe you can keep us in suspense, but have Abby beat us, and then have that final going after her. And then again, I think that would also be like, all right, I'll say this, even though I hate Abby, I don't like her at all, I kind of felt bad that Ellie, like, forced her into that fight. And it's like, man, these two are fighting. They're so tired. They're so beat up. It's like neither of them really wants to. They just feel like they have to at that point. You know what I mean? If Abby was less of a villain in our minds at that point, I think we'd feel even more bad for her. And they would actually have a different dynamic there too, right? Because maybe, somehow, maybe they would make you feel for Abby, where it's like, Ellie, just give, you know what I mean? Because I think that's what they were going for. It's like, Ellie, just give it up. Like, get on that boat. But then she sees Joel, and it's like, I get it. I understand you still want to do it, but, she's not that bad. Like, we get why she did those things. She's got Lev. Just let her go. You know what I mean? Something like that. And then when you're beating her to a pulp and you're slicing her and you're drowning her, it's like, Ellie, like, you don't need to do this. You know what I mean? That's what they try to do. And I think to some levels, they did achieve that. But I think it just would have been better if we cared more about Abby. Then we would have been like, man, just stop. Just both go your own way. Never see each other. You know what I mean? I think that would have made it a whole lot better. So that's my opinion. That's how I would fix this game. Small tweaks, trying to keep the same kind of themes. You can have revenge. You can have all those things. But, guys, I'm super interested. I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. What do you think? What would you change about this game to make it better? Sound off. Let me know in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Have that bell icon turned on. I definitely want to make more Last of Us Part 2 videos as the days go on. We'll talk about Joel, talk about multiplayer, talk about Last of Us Part 3. Definitely want to make more videos going forward, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.